Hello and welcome to Esports Go. I'm Matt Brown.
And I'm Justin Gillerman. We begin with a look back at the big matches in the Overwatch League yesterday and our main event of the evening. Posed huge playoff implications as the Gladiators were 6-2 here in Stage 2 and the Fusion were 5-3. Win here by either team in any fashion would bring some drama to the playoff fold, so let's see how the chaos took place. The Gladiators find themselves in trouble in their first match of Week 5. They are down a map going into map 4. To keep their playoff dreams alive, they need to win this map and the next tiebreaker map to stay in charge of their destiny. The Gladiators are on attack first, but Carpe is keeping them contained. He is getting key snipes on Gladiators players to prevent them from pushing at full strength. Carpe gets an insane pick on Sure4 just before a major team fight. He follows it up with another great snipe on Big Goose. Fisher jumps on Carpe right after, but it's too little too late. There are not enough Gladiators to keep the payload moving. They are stopped just short of the first checkpoint. The Gladiators are finally starting to answer the Carpe problem on defense. He is not able to create the same situations as before. Even if he does kill someone, he's almost always counter-killed a second later. It looks like the Gladiators might make it. The only problem? The Fusion have ultimates ready and the Gladiators do not. Next to go is Big Goose, then Sure4, and then Shaz. The only man remaining is Fisher versus the entire Fusion squad. He primal rages, but it's not enough. The Fusion are able to push the payload past the Gladiators. It came down to the wire, but the Fusion find themselves the win. They claim a 3-1 victory over the Gladiators. So Philly gets the win. They pushed their Stage 2 record to 6-3. The loss was the Gladiators at 6-3, and the Dynasty are currently 6-2. And Matt, I have about 6 and many more questions as to how crazy this result was, and actually how surprising it was for me to see Philly pull this off. I just thought the Gladiators, they're playing extremely well coming into this game.
Yeah, this is a scenario that we actually talked about on the Overwatch podcast. Go to our website, challengemedia.tv. The Gladiators have lost control of their own fate to reach the Stage 2 playoffs, and now they have to sit back as the Dynasty take their shot at it. LA doesn't play again until the last match on Saturday night. So they're now, the third spot will be all but decided by then. And also, with the win, the Fusion still stay alive in the hunt as a contender. All right, next we've got the debut of a man that the entire league has been waiting for. Sinatra has finally come of age, and he led the Shock into a battle against the Florida Mayhem. All right, it's gonna take 5 games to decide the victor of this matchup. We're on Ilios. In round 1, the Shock hold the point for a good chunk of time. Tavik makes room for the Mayhem though with a well-placed barrage. He is killed for his actions, but he creates enough space for the rest of his team to gain the point. The Shock managed to gain the point back, but it is short-lived. An even better Tavik barrage takes out the majority of the Shock. Great things must come in threes because Tavik pulls off an even better barrage. This one ends up being a round winner since the Shock are not able to recover in time to keep the objective in overtime. In round 2, Tavik is having a heyday defending the point. He is zooming around on Tracer and whittling down any Shock members advancing on the point or retreating. It looks like the Mayhem might be able to get a clean win in round 2, but Logix is sniped by Baby Babe with the long-range support taken out. The Mayhem instantly retreat and concede the point to the Shock. The Shock find themselves separated, allowing the Mayhem to easily retake the point. The Shock are trying to fight out one last time on the point, but Nomi is taken out by a Widowmaker Poison Mine. The rest of the Shock fall, and the Mayhem find themselves with another win late in Stage 2. The final score, Mayhem 3, Shock 2. Well, despite the loss, Sinatra still looked like the capstone that the Shock have been missing this season. Now they just have to figure out how to play together. A poor performance by Baby Bay in the tiebreaker map showed that this team will have to reconfigure their synergy. On the other side, though, Justin, you think the Mayhem can upset the Dynasty Friday?
I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to go that far. But the Mayhem, once again, they look like a completely different team that we saw in Stage 1. Yes, the added players to the roster make a huge difference, but I just think the overall mindset and the feeling from the Mayhem has completely changed, and they're starting to build a little confidence, and hopefully they can get some momentum going into Stage 3 and that the meta works out in their favor, because this is a fun team to watch when they're playing at their best. In our last matchup of the day, we had the Shanghai Dragons looking to put their off-the-map issues aside against the Houston Outlaws, who are spiraling downward. Thankfully, someone has to win, so let's find out who did. Outlaws, Dragons, Overwatch, yes. The highlight starts with a match did. Volskaya Industries. The Dragons are on attack. It was expected, but the Dragons were completely out of sync yesterday. Their attack was not coordinated. Adu is above on the high ground going after the Outlaws' back line. Meanwhile, his own back line is stuck fighting off Muma on the point. The Dragons do manage to get some ticks on the point, but once again, the teams get separated. Fearless is chasing out Jake, but in the meantime, his team is losing a fight on the point. All the Dragons are shoved off the point, and no one is left to keep overtime ticking. They failed to get a single point on Volskaya. It does not take long for the Outlaws to send a message. They take out the frontline Dragons of Fearless and Rascal. From there, the rest of the Dragons are forced to retreat. The Dragons mistime how long it will take to get back to the point to contest the capture, and the Outlaws find themselves with an easy map 1 win. They will go on to win the next 3 maps to secure the 4-0 sweep over the Dragons. The odds were stacked against the Dragons coming into this one, but it was nice to finally see the Outlaws perform as a team once again. Muma had moments, Linkster went back to his old ways on Widow, and of course Jake is the anchor that rights the ship for the Outlaws. It was just too much for the Dragons to overcome, especially with a lot that's going on for them right now.
Yeah, an easy one for the Outlaws here with 2 starters out and new players debuting. The Dragons just had all sorts of chemistry issues. It's going to be like that for a little while, unfortunately. A team that struggled to get a win now has to find a consistent lineup, and that's even worse. All right, let's move on to everyone's favorite segment, Heroes and Zeros. My hero is one of the more unsung heroes of the Florida Mayhem, Swoosh. His aggressive tank play does not go unnoticed by the offensive players on the team, and he sets up room and space for Logix and Tavik to go to work.
Now our second hero comes from the Fusion vs. Gladiators match. It's none other than Carpe of the Fusion. Sometimes there are days when a player's on fire. That was one of those days for Carpe. He was all over the Gladiators, especially on that Widowmaker.
And Justin and I decided to keep it positive today, and we are not going to name a zero.
It's okay. You're good.
Oh, sorry. Dragons.
All right, let's take a quick break. Stay with us. You're here on the go.
Hey there, welcome back to The Go. According to ESPN's Jacob Wolf, Optic decided to remove Derek Zig Shao and Derek Lemonation Hart from its League of Legends lineup. You could say that this is a pretty early decision for an organization that just joined the NALCS, but it does follow a 9th place finish in the spring split, where the team went 5-13, only one better than last place Golden Guardians. Now Optic has to find players to become their top laner and support before the summer split in a few months. There's no word yet on if Zig and Lemonation will move to Optic's Academy lineup, which is said to be under construction as well. Either way, it's clear that this wasn't the start that they were expecting.
We all know the madness that is March and trying to fill out that tournament bracket correctly. Well, once again, players that are following the Collegiate Heroes of the Dorm competition have a chance to receive $10,000 if they predict the most winners, announced by Blizzard Entertainment yesterday. Not only is the winner going to get $10,000, but if somehow, some way, someone predicts a perfect bracket, then Blizzard will shell out $1 million. Yes, million. Adam Rosen, who was the senior business operations manager at Blizzard, said in a statement, "With the introduction of the $1 Million Bracket Challenge, we expect to see deeper interactions with super fans who are interested in diving into all of the stats, replays, and teams with their friends to predict the outcomes of the 64-team bracket." Rosen also hopes that this new format of 15 divisions instead of 4 regions will bring more traditional gameplay rivalries and rally the schools participating around their teams. The finals of the tournament will take place on May 12th at the Blizzard Arena in Burbank, California. Coming up after the break, we'll preview today's Overwatch League matches. Stay right here. You're watching The Go.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at today's Overwatch League matches. First up, Outlaws versus Dynasty, a match that has Sunday implications, Justin. Houston will look to play spoiler here and put the Dynasty into a challenging spot.
Yeah, this is a big one for the Dynasty and their playoff hopes. They hold a half-game lead right now in that third and final playoff spot. The Outlaws seem to be on the outside looking in. I just think the way Fleta is playing and how the Dynasty are playing as a whole, they're adapting to this meta really well, making that push. I think they're going to be too much for the Outlaws in this game. And in our second matchup of the day, we have the XL, who remain, in my opinion, best team in the league, facing off against a Fuel team who are still slowly chugging along. How do you see this one shaping up, Matt?
Yeah, the Fuel have lost their last 11 maps, and it's hard to see them stealing one against the XL. So if New York is smart, they want to focus even more going into the weekend. That means giving up 0 maps to the Fuel and the Valiant.
Yes.
All right, ending the night will be the Shock and the Boston Uprising. Boston's on a mini winning streak here, but San Francisco wants to notch their first win with their new star.
Yeah, this is going to be a real interesting one. Sinatra finally getting his chance to play. It may be what the Shock have been waiting for, so they finally get that needed help. Boston seems to just be carrying along much like the few of us, hoping for this stage to end. I like San Francisco in this one, to be honest.
Yeah, I might too. I love watching Sinatra. All right, that does it for us today on The Go. In the meantime, check us out on our website, challengemedia.tv, for all your gaming news.
Also, check us out and follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. We'll be here all week with your news and highlights. Thanks for watching The Go. We'll see you next time.